Hello everyone, it is Isaiah here, and welcome back to another video. And you may be wondering, Isaiah, why are you making this video? You're late. And you're right, I am late. But it's fine. I know my 54 subscribers won't mind me being a little late, you know. They'll watch the video. Right guys? Right, all 54 of you? Good. Good answer, good answer. Anyways, I'm making this video because I want to give you guys some tips. I want to show you my process, and you know, with these tips you can maybe try to draw the angle right here on the screen, which is by SpaceDev1, which he originally made the post on Reddit. Anyways, let me get straight to the drawing. I start with the Loomis method. You know, if you don't know the Loomis method, it is a way to draw the head. And I used it because it's really helpful for these difficult angles. So yeah, there's a line for the eye, the nose, and the mouth. And if you don't know this, the eye actually lines up with the ear. Like the top of the eye lines up with the top of the ear, and the bottom of the nose will always line up with the bottom of the ear. And that actually happens with pretty much most faces. There are, I would say, deviations from that maybe. Like, let's say someone has a slight physical disorder or disability, that may change it. But again, other than in those specific cases, and almost every human face, if you analyze and you can trace over a human face, you realize that again the top of the eye will always match up with, or the eyebrow at least will always match up with the top of the ear, and the bottom of the nose will always match up with the bottom of the ear, right? And that's what helps me with this difficult pose, because you know, the head is at a 3/4 angle, and it's slightly looking up, which you know means the whole head will be tilted up, you know, or it doesn't always mean that, but you know, the head's tilted up because the character is slightly looking off to the distance. And here you can see me, I did the sketch, and now I'm drawing the ear. And you know, since Frieren, the character, she is an elf, I'm pretty sure. She has elfish, dwarfish ears, and honestly, I can do that. I've drawn not dwarves, but I've drawn goblins, and they have very similar ears, so I have experience doing that, you know. Also, just to mention, real quick, this is my 4th attempt of doing this. You know, my first 2 attempts were bad. They were poop from a butt. You know, they sucked, man. So, look, I'll show them in a second.
Somebody smell like shit! Wait! Somebody smell like shit!
But they're nothing special. So if you try this and you didn't like how it came out, or it didn't look accurate to what I guess what the pose would be, don't worry. It happened to me. My first 2 attempts were horrid, I would say. It takes time to be good as an artist. So again, I encourage you just to try this. It'll help you, and honestly, it's fun to see where you are at your current skill level. You know, this definitely helps you with that. I also made a 3rd attempt of the Frieren angle, and I'll show that on screen in a second. I like how it came out. I think it came out really well. I would say one thing that I definitely did mess up on is the neck. Frieren, like the character, has I would say not a long neck, but you know, a longer neck maybe than the average person. But in this drawing, I made her neck way too long, and I posted it on Twitter, and some people pointed it out. I remember one guy actually replied to me saying that I made her look like a JoJo's character. I don't really see it, but that's what that person told me. But yeah, again, I like how it came out, but I made the neck too long. But again, this is after some practice and time with the 3/4 angle and the Frieren angle overall. You know, one thing that helps me draw a 3/4 angle and the specific Frieren angle is practicing. You know, obviously drawing the different angles of the head. And what I do is a sorrow head, because it is a very useful head base to draw, and it's easy to manipulate, for me at least, visually, So I can draw the Frieren angle easily, and as well with a regular 3/4 angle or any angle. It doesn't have to be those specific angles. It could be literally any angle of the head, you know. And that's what helps me. For a drawing method, though, I use the Loomis method, which is, I guess, not the base method, but it's one of the most popular methods to draw the human head, because it's been used out throughout history, throughout the decades, and it's been tried and trusted, you know. So you can try the Loomis method. That's like the most basic way to draw the head at this point, I would say. In the Big 25, in the Big 25. So yeah, that's how we roll in the Big 25, you know. Anyways, here I start with the line art, then the flat colors, and now you can see I'm doing the shading currently for Frieren. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly. If not, you guys can go into the comments and correct me, because I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce. Like, I'm not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, you know. But anyways, here I'm putting these lines on Frieren's face on another layer to make sure everything's lined up. And here you can see that obviously I messed up on the mouth. It's not lined up with the eyes or the nose, so I fixed that quickly. And now it looks much better. You can see. Before it looked a little wonky. It's kind of hard to tell. Not really if you have a trained eye, or if you're a good artist, but to me it's hard to tell. So I put those lines over to make sure that everything is lined up and looks correct. And you know, it didn't, and I fixed it. One thing I do when I'm fixing my drawing, in particular this one at least, you know, I stop for a second and I check if the proportions are correct or if they look right, because you know, they don't. When you're drawing something, it doesn't always have to be 100% correct, you know. I would say the main takeaway from this video, or just in general when you're drawing, don't make it. You don't have to make things 100% correct. You just have to make it look at least believable, you know. If it looks good, it's fine, because you know, even the masters don't always make something look 100% correct, and actually sometimes making something look believable, or you know, look like it's accurate, then actually making it 100% accurate will make the drawing look better. It sounds weird, it sounds crazy, but it can actually help with that, you know. Obviously, making the drawing look believable, making the thing you want to look believable and actually look accurate without making it 100% accurate, you have to study the fundamentals. You need form and perspective, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that you also need that wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. Bro. But seriously, I can't stress enough that the most important thing about art is not all the flashy rendering or shading or lighting. Well, that is important, but the most important stuff is the fundamentals, you know, the basics. Line, form, composition, color theory, and perspective. Those are more important than, you know, any of that rendering stuff, any of that. Learning how to render metal, that's not that important. That's more important. Sadly, this video has to come to an end. Thank you for watching the video. If you stuck out for this long, please like and subscribe and comment on your thoughts about the video. I would like to know. I love knowing. Thank you. I love you all. Be good people.